Hey everyone, what's going on, and welcome to the commentary for the grand finals of the 13th season of the Total War League, me versus Ulda. It's been a while since it actually happened. This was November, so it's been like 2 months. But I figured I didn't make the video, so I'll just fucking do it, so I have some content to post on the channel, because I'm not been posting enough stuff, I guess. I don't know. I have some stuff that's on the way, but yeah, whatever. I'll just fucking commentate this shit. So, going to the finals, I'm pretty sure I picked the first match. Actually, don't remember. He might have picked this matchup. I don't know. I think he picked this, actually. He picked Armenia Parthia. I picked Parthia. They're slightly better. Like, there's just no disadvantage to taking Parthia. But the usual army that people go for in this matchup is like 8 horse archers, 5 hillmen, and the rest cataphracts, 7 cav. Or maybe like 5 cataphracts, 7 hillmen, something like that. But I decided to go for a slightly different army, so let's see. So yeah, as you can see, I decided to go for more infantry just because I played this match a bunch of times with Ulda in the past, and he would usually go for infantry, and then it'd be a question of like, can the horse archers like shoot enough stuff? And they can most of the time, but it's just like, I figure if I knew he was gonna go infantry and not go 8 horse archers, I'll just take a little more horse archers than him. So I have 6 horse archers. He only has like 4. You know, maybe he would take 6, but then at least it'd be equal. And then I have, you know, better cataphracts, better infantry in general, like so Parthian swords against the Carly Axemen. It's pretty close, to be fair. And better horse archers, strictly better horse archers. So I figured this was probably slightly better. And we actually have really similar armies. So he has 4 horse archers. 2 of them are armored horse archers, though, which I don't agree with at all. I don't think there's any reason to take these guys. Like, yes, they can kill my horse archers in melee, but like I'll never let him do that. And then they're just like too expensive, pretty much. You're not doing any more damage or anything. Yes, they have 40 armor, but like my horse archers shouldn't waste too much ammo on his horse archers anyway. It's just costing a little bit too much money, I would say. Like these guys are like 600, so 800 for the 2 of them, um, or 1200, sorry. So you could get like a full extra horse archer unit, which is just, if you think about it, 15 more ammo that you know you would have. The only way these guys pay for themselves is if I fuck up and let him charge me, or if he manages to use the extra armor to like kill enough of my guys where he like makes back 15 ammo essentially, which I might happen, but I don't know, probably not. The rest of his army, he's got 4 cataphracts, noble cataphract or royal cataphract, whatever. He has 1 cartly axeman, 3 cartly axemen total. 1, 2, 3, no, 4 cartly axemen. Okay, 4 cartly axemen, 4 hillmen, not bad. But the penalty for this army is that he only has like 18 units or something, so he has 8, 13, 15, 17 units, which I think is way too few. But Ulda, in general, likes to go for less, less units, but I think that's kind of a troll. I think that's pretty bad. But we can see in my army now, I have 2 regular cataphracts, 2 camo cataphracts, royal cataphract general, 4 Sarmatian horse archers, 2 Parthian horse archers. So all my guys are doing 40 damage. These guys are a bit slower than his horse archers or his regular ones, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. They do more damage. These Parthian horse archers are just a straight upgrade on his horse archers, but the 5 damage is not like a huge deal, but it is nice. I have 3 Parthian swords, so I'm short a single Parthian sword over his Cartly Axeman, so he has 1 extra melee unit, strong melee unit. But I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hillmen to his 4, so I'm actually +1 on melee infantry overall, but he does have 4 Cartly Axemen to my 3 Parthian swords, and of course the hillmen are pretty useless against the Cartly, and his hillmen are pretty useless against my Parthian swords. But they're useful to have for throwing javelins into cav and also allowing your cataphracts to cycle charge. So let's just skip through. I really should have been playing already, but whatever. So we go for the missile war, and we're just kind of, you know, baiting each other's shots out. Whatever, not trying to get too close. Don't really want to waste too much ammo here. Of course, I have more ammo than he does, but I don't want to waste it all on these guys. So here's one thing. At 64, so I put these guys way on the flank. he has to, respect that. He needs to defend his flank. So I can just walk up here with my other horse archers and just shoot his hillman. You might think like, oh, well, why shoot his hillman? I was like, I could hit his cataphracts potentially, but even shooting his hillman is really valuable because it just makes them weaker, so that my hillman will kill them pretty easily one-on-one. If these guys lose like 20 men to my archers or my horse archers, then the javelin volley from my hillman, because of the HP damage, is gonna do like another 20 kills, while his javelin volley will probably only kill like 5 of my dudes. A, because he has less men, and B, because my guys are full health and his aren't. So that's going to really change the melee battle in my favor, which is something that you want to aid your cataphracts. And again, he can't really defend everything 6v4. So again, you have this armored horse archer, sure it won't take a lot of damage, but the numbers are in my favor. But now his cataphracts is close enough, I try to get shots into it. I hit it a couple times there, they were not shooting the right unit though. But I'm going to hit his hillman. His Carly Axeman even lost 3 men, that's even better. Hillman down a few men here. Here I can shoot his cataphract. I thought he was going to run at me though. This was bad, I should have just stayed there. But I don't want to lose any men to his javelins for obvious reasons. Here I kind of fuck up. Lose some men, he loses some men, but the armor is paying off there, I suppose. I didn't lose too many men though, nothing significant. Again, it's Hartley just taking more fire, and again, even the kills don't really matter, it's more about the HP damage for the long term. He's taking more shots, we're both just trading volleys. Here I get a little bit too close probably, but I might get some decent shots there. Doesn't pay off. This is just normal skirmishing stuff. Looks like he kind of misses me too. Maybe I lose a couple dudes. So this is all just boring. And we know that the charges are going to come in. That's going to signify like the real important start. These hillmen are down to 109. Cartley 117. Hillmen, most of them are kind of full. So this Cartley's down to 119. But okay, some shots coming in. Now I kind of rotate over here, so maybe I'll start shooting at some more central units. Cartley and Hillman, they didn't take any losses there, so that's okay. The really important thing for me is going to be to be able to micro my horse archers while the cavalry battle is going on. So here I'm just running away because I am skirmishing effectively here, so I might as well just keep shooting him. There's no reason to make him more healthy. Here those guys just took fucking 8 damage, or 8 losses. Get a nice volley into his cataphract as well. Like, sure, we just take those. They're not going to lose any men because they have like 1 billion health and armor. But the damage is important, so my charges will be more effective. And you can see I'm really posted up on his flank, so he cannot really surround me. This cataphracts tries to run forward for a charge, but this is like super telegraphed. So I guess I'll just charge back. I decide to sacrifice the hillman here. So I could have ran the hillman away and just charged my cataphract, but I have more hillmen than he does, and a lot of his hillmen are already weak, so I decide to sacrifice the hillman, so it'll take the charge for this full javelin volley into his cataphract. And I think this is a worthy trade. If I can reduce, I wouldn't do that everywhere. If I do that everywhere, I'll just be short too many infantry, and because he has the 4 Cartley axemen, it'll probably be pretty bad. But to do it on one flank, to get some of his cataphracts really low and get my cataphracts a free charge into them, I think that's probably worth it, especially because I have more melee units overall. Really nice javelin volley, down to 53, 48, the charge comes in, my guys are still 100% healthy, and again, that's partially the javelins, obviously, but it's also because he took that arrow fire at the beginning as well. So that's the HP damage benefit for me. So yeah, my charge came in, he's losing a lot of men, my horse archers are still firing into this blob. My hillmen not even lose that many men to be honest. Because the javelins killing so many of these cataphracts, or like hurting them, he didn't really get a great charge. Of course my hillmen are going to be worse than his hillmen here. But again, that's a fight that's going to be close still actually, 95 to 101, it's like pretty close. I'm sure I've taken more HP damage than he has, but this fight will be kind of relatively close, and his cataphract took an extra 20 losses compared to mine, so that's definitely a net win. This general kind of fucks up here, takes a big javelin volley, loses 5 men, easy advantage for me. This cataphract down half strength, and I know I can just commit my other hillman here at full strength to win this blob against this hillman. My Parthian sword's going to get a free charge into his Cartley axemen, so that's just going to be an even trade. He might have gotten a charge here actually, with a couple men. So he might actually have the advantage there. But again, to do that, his cataphract's going to stay in combat for even longer. These hillmen are coming in. Maybe even, I think they're targeting his hillman, not his cataphract, but he might throw some javelins in there. So this cataphract's going to be completely dead. He might get the upper hand in this fight slightly, but to have a full cataphract against a dead cataphract is much bigger of an advantage. Over here, You can see I have the width advantage as well because I have more infantry, and he also started his deployment very narrow, whereas I was like pretty spread out and wide. So I'm gonna wrap around this flank. I'm gonna use this hillman as bait for his horse archers, so he cannot shoot my horse archers, except like if he manually targets them. But I'm gonna run this hillman just all the way around the flank and just run at his cataphract. My horse archers will then shoot his horse archers down. You can see he's losing a lot of men, 15 men on this unit. These guys are all pretty healthy. And then I can start surrounding him. He won't want to take a fight here because his infantry is all collapsing in the center. So yes, my center is going to be relatively dangerous for a bit, but I can hold the line with the Parthian swords. As long as he doesn't get big charges into my swords, my infantry will hold. They'll lose, but they'll hold. And then I can just attack the flank, use a cataphract plus a hillman against a single cataphract. He'll have no infantry support there. If I lock down the edge with my other infantry. And then once this cataphract dies to the combination of my cataphract and hillman, then I can just start recharging him, and then I'll win. So that's basically my plan because he went so narrow. Let's see, just Hillman charging Hillman. Big, bloody Hillman battle. So I guess I don't get a charge here. He did block with his cataphract, so okay. He's probably going to win this fight pretty handily, but his cataphract is down to 25 men, so it doesn't really seem worth it. He does rout my other Hillman as well, but my other Hillman just comes in, so it's okay. Like, he tries to even, like, commit more with this cataphract. I guess he may as well, because retreating this cataphract now is kind of useless. But I'm going to try to just charge in here and cause chaos. Maybe block my camel cataphract from acting for a little bit. This cataphract is like tripping out. Another thing I've done well here is I put my horse archers, look at their positioning. They're all behind my own lines, so they're all firing at his cataphracts engaged. While his horse archers, they could potentially, but the angles are not as good. You know, if I put my horse archers like right here, or even right now, his range is probably like right here. So if there's a fight here, he cannot engage in that fight with his horse archers, whereas my horse archers are freely shooting this the entire time. But there are benefits to being on the flank with your horse archers as well, which is just like the flanking shots. So it's not terrible, but I think like these central horse archers, of course I have 6 and he has 4, is a really nice bonus for me to be able to shoot into the blob. I could even target like his general or something right now if I wanted to. So here comes the edge rush, and like I said, I just have more infantry here. So this Hillman's gonna wrap around the flank. I'm pre-targeting this. I have a Parthian sword and a Hillman here against this Hillman and Cartly Axeman and Cataphract each. I kind of fuck up with my Camel Cataphract. I try to bait out his Javelin Volley. This is kind of dumb. Like, there's no reason to do that. So I'm going to lose 1 Camel Cataphract, so I kind of baited it out, but wasn't really ideal. And of course, if he engages here, I'm going to have the support incoming, so this is going to be quite good for me. He might get this charge into my Parthian swords, like slightly, but he's going to get side charged by my Cataphracts. Actually, he might not even get a charge here. Yeah, so he's probably targeting my Camel Cataphract, and it got baited, so his charge doesn't even occur, which means I'm going to win this fight pretty easily. Over here you can see, yeah, my Parthian swords are actually losing quite handily to his Cartly Axeman, so that's good for him. He'll definitely take that. And he also got his Cataphract into my Camel Cataphract. I'm going to take this unit down pretty quickly, but it will just tie this unit down for a bit, I suppose. You could like try to like navigate something through the blob here. So my Parthian swords are tying down this fight. Hillman versus Hillman, but he has the spare Cartly Axeman, so Cartly Axeman versus Parthian sword, Cartly Axeman versus Parthian sword, Cartly Axeman versus Parthian sword. Here's the spare Cartly Axeman, so he's gonna break my Hillman pretty easily here. My Hillman were winning this probably because he took some damage from arrows, maybe just while he was sitting there or earlier in the battle. But this Cartly Axeman will break the line and then start an inquest into my lines. I won't really have a mechanism to deal with that, of course, because if I try to engage with my Cataphracts, he'll just countercharge me with his own Cataphracts, and he'll have a melee unit in that fight, so it'll be really bad for me. Which just basically means he has a unit that's free to just like cause pressure wherever he wants. But I have the countermeasure of my horse archers. I'll just shoot that unit as much as I can, deplete it. He'll go for some rear charges most likely. I'll have to sacrifice some more units, but wherever that unit isn't, I should be winning because I have the extra infantry and the extra cav now because he lost a cataphract, and I'm full on my cav. This cataphract is 56. That was the one that charged his cataphract, so yeah. So here goes the cataphract battle. Again, he didn't get a charge here, so I'm drastically winning this fight. He does get a Cartly Axeman here, but now my Parthian swords are going to come back. Okay, they wasted Javelin Volley there. That's kind of weird. So my Hillman blocked the charge of his Cartly. I'm going to get a charge my general. This was a really risky charge as well. I don't think I should have gone for this, to be honest. Now, I do have infantry support, but these Parthian swords are not exactly close. Look how many cataphracts he has here. If I charge here, he's going to countercharge my general. I could just, like, wait. Like, this fight is irrelevant. It's a Cartly Axeman versus a Hillman. My Parthian sword can just re-engage here, pull out this Hillman, and then just walk at his cataphracts with my 2 free Hillmen. He has no free... You could pull out a free unit here, I suppose, but he's still going to be short unit somewhere. and I can just run at him on the flank, push him back with my infantry and cataphracts, and then once he runs away, rear charge. If he takes the fight, it's losing because I have cataphracts and infantry, whereas he just has cataphracts. So that's probably a better play. This charge is very risky. I tried to just go for it and then run away, and then insert my Parthian swords. I was like, okay, I can do a lot of damage to this Cartly Axeman. Probably not worth it overall, because it just means that my general is going to get countercharged. So let's see. He does realize it pretty quickly, so let's see what I decide to do. I charged in, good damage on this Cartly. My horse archers are nearby, so I can't shoot his general. I'm going to target his general here, but my general is pretty much going to eat a charge. I do trample charge. I'm like, okay, let me just counter charge general here. Does it work? No, no, not particularly. I tried to pop all these abilities. I think I did get a charge technically. He didn't get a great charge. But he also charges my Hillman here. I don't think I got a good javelin volley, but the counter charge is coming in, so I will actually destroy this cataphract because it's at 48, and my cataphracts are full. Charging both units, and he does get another charge. This is a well played from Ulda, like he just charges here and then charges another one. My general is going to get countercharged here by his general. However, his general had lost a few men earlier, remember, on that javelin volley. So this is going to make it a little better for me, because at least my general is a bit healthier, so he can withstand that charge slightly better. I also did a trample charge, which means I got a slightly better charge than he did. Although it wasn't a great charge for my units, because they were like facing this way and they tried to turn around. They didn't really have enough time to do that properly. So it's not great, but I do also have a healthy Parthian sword in this fight. He has a healthy Cartly Axeman. You'd rather the Cartly Axeman because they have the high armor of the Cataphract, so it's a bit of a risky fight. I can retreat, but it's not a great retreat because my unit is like stuffed right here, and his unit charged through it, so a lot of my men will be like getting attacked in the rear basically. So yeah, this fight's going on. I need to retreat one of these two units because he has another free Cataphract here, and I actually don't have all that much support. I can pull this Hillman out and reroute it, but he did destroy this Hillman, which is probably bad. Especially if they didn't have javelins. If they did have javelins and they just didn't throw them, it's kind of unlucky. But if they didn't have javelins, it was better to charge the cataphracts first and then support with the Hillman. But I do have, obviously one extra, or one plus this dead Hillman extra melee in this fight, so it should be okay for me. But on this flank, however, he is busting through. Parthian Sword 77, Cartly 91, Hillman 50. They're actually doing a remarkably good job, these Parthian Swords, considering they didn't get a charge. So my counter initiative here, I have these Hillmen that are coming back from routing, and they can just support a fight, or they can block some of his units. So he has one Cataphract here full. I have one slightly less than full unit here. Plus this Camel Cataphract that's just running away from his infantry right now. He has, 2-2 cav units here, general versus general. So I do have an extra Cataphract because he lost his Cataphract at the start of the game. So that's okay, but he does have this huge infantry advantage. He's going to win here. He's going to win here, most likely. Although he's not currently winning, but he can easily recharge this and end this fight, as long as he saves his javelins from my cav. He can always countercharge as well with his own cav, but I have an extra cav, so I need to, use them wisely to get in the fight. My horse archers are screening his horse archers pretty well. These horse archers need to get, like, into action. They can shoot his general, I suppose. It's pretty good. Currently they're, yeah, I just targeted them. So I pull out my Camel Cataphract, like I said, so I have a counter charge for his Eastern Cataphract. But his horse archers here are actually in great position. They have no threat to them, so he can just fire into this blob. Fortunately, like I said, I got the counter charge on his Eastern Cataphract here. It was already a bit depleted, so my Cataphract is dominating this fight. I have a free Camel Cataphract to counter charge his Cataphract. The general fight, I just run away. I accept I'm going to lose a lot of HP, but I was like, you know what, I don't want to stay here. This doesn't look good for me. Which was probably true. And here I decided I have a full extra unit, Cataphract unit, so I'm going to accept that I might have to take some losses from javelins, but I want to reduce this unit as soon as possible while there's no threat, right? He can't countercharge me right now. He's trying to charge over here, but this is with a free area. His general is going to be in this fight. I retreat my general. I want to try to reduce this unit as low as possible so that he doesn't have that extra Cartly Axeman anymore. So that's what I'm going to go for with a charge here. My general also recharges this blob, so I'm getting a recharge into his Cartly while I still had trample charge, by the way. So very good to get that right now, and I need to pop second wind like right now because now they're very tired and they're like in this really bad fight where they're being charged by his general in the rear and the Cartly Axeman is still here and they're in this weird blob. So I need to get that done ASAP. Not sure. I think I probably took a javelin volley here, so I lost 6 men, but I clobber this Cartly Axeman. It'll be okay. But it did lose some men. I don't think I got a charge here though, and this is where I was like really worried because if he just this charge for him with the Cartly Axeman support is excellent. I should not have taken this fight, because he had the infantry advantage over here. Which means if this unit dies, now we're on equal cavalry footing, and my general's about to be a lot weaker than his general, most likely, after this fight goes down. I am winning some other fights, like over here, but I charged my camel cataphract into his general to try to do some extra damage to the Cartly Axeman and the general. My Parthian swords are winning this fight, so that was kind of good, but now it means this cataphract is getting countercharged. So the cavalry battle is up for debate now, especially because of this engagement. So I decided to just fire into this blob. I realized, yeah, he's going to try to charge me, so I'll just run around and shoot him while he tries to chase me. So I'm going to get at least some counter play by shooting his cataphract, but my cataphract just got owned because it didn't get a charge, so that's not good. So I pull back, and I actually catch one of his horse archers here, which is kind of nice. But let's assess the damage after this. So full unit, this unit, my cataphract is dead. Parthian sword here, 89, 74 Cartly, 59 Hillman. This is probably good for me. He has a general in here, of course, but the general is not really a huge threat in sustained combat. Full 45 men camel cataphract unit here, and 49 here, so pretty healthy camel cataphracts. General 46, his general is at 40, so they're both, you know, not fully healthy. Here he's going to have a pretty healthy cataphract against my not very healthy cataphract, and the horse archers, I still have all 6 of my horse archers. Or, I'm sure, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe I lost one, I don't know. That seems kind of odd. But yeah, maybe I lost one, I can't say. Maybe he charged, I think he charged it here or something, and then I countercharged it with my camel cataphract. I think that's what happened. You can see the dead guy right there, actually. So yeah, I think that's what happened. But overall, that's okay. And then in this fight, 105 Parthian swords against, I'm winning here actually, pretty decisively. 57 Parthian swords against some Hillmen, they're winning here, but he does have 70 Cartly Axemen here, so he's winning on this flank. And he has 3 horse archers left against my 5. Also have some like reserve Hillmen randomly, but that's not really a big number. So it's a pretty close battle, especially because I blew this cavalry. Even if I just like got the charge here, so these guys, even if he had this Cartly Axeman in this fight, I would probably lose it, but it would be close enough where like I would kill this unit down pretty hard, then I would be easily winning. But because I didn't charge it and his cavalry is going to live with a lot of men, it's now like pretty equal. He also catches one of my horse archers, kind of here. I get away though. Just shooting his general as much as I can. My general is like out of the fight finally, so he's, you know, he's down to 40 men. More or less. But now my free cataphract around here is just going to do a lot of damage, because until this cataphract actually kills my cataphract, I'm still up that extra cav unit. So I'm trying to make the most of that time, get some kills on his infantry unit so that my infantry is actually stronger by the end of this battle. Horse archer is still just trying to shoot his cataphract, sending in all my reserve hillmen that just randomly came back from routing to just slow this fight down and do as much damage as possible. I'm going to try to retreat my cataphract now because I have hillmen coming in. Maybe not a good idea, but I'm like, okay, it's still 30 men. If I can just salvage those 30 men, that's probably worth it. Here, his Cartly Axeman hasn't really found some initiative. I really think he should have just recharged something, because like now it's just like running around chasing horse archers. Like, it's not getting enough kills, and if I kill the rest of his infantry with my cav advantage, then this one unit is not going to be worth a whole lot. His general is also in a bad place because his general is caught. He did randomly, like, I don't know how, I think this was maybe like some pull through, to be honest, but like, he charged my general, maybe he came around, I don't really remember, but now my general got charged without it getting a counter charge, so now my general is actually weaker than his general, but I have a full camel cataphract here that's going to come and recharge his general. I just need to hope that my general doesn't fucking die or some shit. He might even die, but as long as his general also dies here, it should be okay. He popped a second win, so he's fresh. My general, looks like most of the dudes are getting out, and the camel cataphracts being so quick, we're able to catch his general with a nice charge. Horse archers shooting into the blob. Now I can rotate my general and recharge his Cartly Axemen before they do too much damage in this fight. This camel cataphract, again, completely free. He's just going to keep cycle charging all these units. He's also winning with this cavalry fight again because I didn't countercharge this cataphract with my camel cataphract. So I decide, okay, priority should be to eliminate his cav, because the infantry fight is going like okay. Here his cav is down to 44, I'm at 25, so whatever, pretty close. Parthian swords 49, Cartly 54, pretty close. He has a bit of a cav advantage here, bit of a cav advantage here, but I have a full cav free here, and my general is free over here, and his general is about to die. And I have more horse archers. This is looking pretty favorable. Unless he can condense, you know, if like all our units just like teleported to our own sides of the battlefield and we restart the battle from here, he might be okay. But because his general's caught and in a bad spot, where my horse archers can really focus fire, I'm going to be in a good spot. He does do a lot of damage to my Camel Cataphract, surprisingly. I think the arrows from his Sword Searchers help with that, but I had a nice charge. I have all this focus fire. His general down to 12 is out of the fight. My general does die as well though, so you know, not ideal. This Eastern Cataphract 26 men. His Eastern Cataphract is a bit healthier here. My Camel Cataphract at 17. 17, you know, 20 Camel Cataphracts, nothing to scoff at necessarily. General at 22, so all the Cataphracts are pretty depleted. He actually might have a slight Cav advantage now, but the infantry advantage has been sustained or gained by my free Cav just recharging his shit. And so now he may have a slight Cav advantage in numbers, but I have more units alive of Cav, which means he can never really charge me without me just putting in support. My horse archers are still alive to shoot his cav, and I have a really big infantry unit, and this is the killer blow. These guys still have a javelin volley. He needs to take care of them somehow, but inevitably he needs a javelin volley. Now this cataphract is pretty much dead, and he's left with just this one cataphract. It is quite healthy, healthier than any of my individual units, but again, that doesn't really matter if I have enough infantry and enough units to simply countercharge him when he charges in. So he charges his unit in, I charge his partly axeman, he charged my partly sword. He's a bit healthier here, but now I'm just going to focus the blob. My general's already dead, so I may as well just commit my unit to try to recharge his cataphract unit. This is what happens. He's tired, I'm active, so I'm going to catch him here. And yeah, he tries to escape, but my numerical superiority comes into play. This other cataphract got countercharged after it got javelined by my Parthian sword. And yeah, winning the side where the general was the key, essentially. He wasn't able to use his infantry advantage of the extra Cartly Axeman to any effect. That unit just like ran around chasing shit instead of like killing anything. And he wasted that one cataphract early, so I had a cav advantage. And my horse archers also did quite well, focusing key targets. His horse archers also did a good job, I'd say. Especially as the battle developed and units became more isolated, he was shooting them down, but I was shooting his general a bit more, I'd say. And this game would not have been close at all if I didn't not get a charge with my Eastern Cataphract. I also didn't get a charge with my general when his general like appeared behind my lines. So, you know, if I charged his general there, my general would be a lot healthier. Or at least his general would have died faster. So that would have helped. Kills wise, I mean, a couple of his units got some really nice kills, horse archers. But I'm not sure if that's because they like killed ratting things or something. Like 112 kills on the regular horse archer seems really nice. 109 on the armored horse archer. This guy probably killed a lot of my horse archers in the middle of the battle where he caught some of my stuff. I did lose one horse archer for nothing. Not ideal. And none of my horse archers performed quite as well as these two. But 34 and 14 is really bad. Whereas most of my units did a little bit better than that. So even considering how expensive these horse archers are, I think my horse archers did better. Did slightly better at least. Cataphracts wise, pretty similar. His cataphracts maybe got a few more kills, but that was because they charged my infantry. I did almost no YOLO charges on his infantry. Only I was focused on killing his cataphracts, and you know that's what they did. But yeah, messing up with this one unit, whereas he didn't really mess up with any of his units except for that one that just like sacrificed itself at the start of the battle, which was like more of a tactical sacrifice. I wouldn't say it was like a mistake. But I definitely made a mistake here. I also fucked up with my general a little bit. But no matter, my infantry in general performed a lot better than his, I'd say, which was kind of surprising, but especially I think in the end game, I was able to recharge the infantry with my cav, and then my infantry would obviously clean those fights up pretty easily. So that was game 1, 1-0, so then I picked next, I think. Again, I don't really remember, but given the matchup, I assume I would pick it. Nervii Getai. Getai is one of the factions that I'm like most interested in on these rules because they can take 6 horse archers and really spread the field of battle in a very nice, like unique way. It's really hard for Getai to actually get a good army on these rules if you want to take 6 horse archers. You don't have like mid-tier units, right? You only have cheap axe warriors and falksmen or really expensive noble swords and the general unit. So you can't, like I've tried this a million times, with 6 horse archers, you cannot get an army that has like 4 axe warriors. It's literally impossible unless you want to like really throw a lot of the rest of your army to shit. So I was like, whatever. I would like 4 axe warriors and like some number of noble swords and the cap gen, but I cannot physically do this. So like whatever. I guess it's just rip for that. So I took 3 noble swords up the center, 2 axe warriors only. I have 4 folksmen. 4 folksmen are great. They're, you know, glass cannon, but they really do good as a support unit because they do good against cav. So if cav charges into your unit, you can counter charge with the folksmen. Especially if you get like a javelin volley here, they charge in, your folksmen counter charge and kill the unit. The guys that are stuck, they'll do that quite well, and they obviously do well on the charge. I have 1 spear, which is just in front of my noble sword. So my 3 units up here are just blocking potential charges into my noble swords, so my noble swords will get good engagement with the cav support of 3 spear horsemen, obviously outclassed by his cav as Nervia. Then I have, yeah, 3 spear horsemen, cav gen, and the 6 horse archers, like I said, so that's pretty much my army. And Ulda has, of course, the 3 jav cav. They're going to be, you know, heavily outmatched by the 6 HA, so you just gotta be careful, but they can catch and kill my horse archers in melee, so if you preserve them, you know, they're always a threat to my horse archers, but 6 against 3, they're gonna have a tough time just getting shot. 3 levy free up front, fair enough. 3 Oathsworn, it's pretty standard. 3 Celtic warriors, 2 fierce swords, 2 cav, and the gen. So if we compare units, like, I have 3 noble swords, he has 3 Oathsworn. I have 2 axe warriors, he has 2 fierce swords. Of course, fierce swords will massively outclass axe warriors. Oathsworn are slightly better than noble swords. He also has 2 slingers. So you know, I have 6 HA. He has 3 Javcav and 2 slingers, which I guess is fine as a counter for my HA. And then I have like the 4 Folksmen, or yeah, 4 Folksmen and the spear. He has the 1, 2, 3 levy freemen, or 3 levy freemen, 3 Celtic warriors. So that's 6 like fodder units to my 5 fodder units, the 4 Folksmen and the spear. I have the extra missile unit, and I also have an extra cav unit because he has 19 units, but he has 2 mighty horse and the gen. I have the gen and 3 spear horse. So pretty very similar armies, I would say. Let's see. So I obviously just spread out here. I'm gonna go 4 against 2 over here, 2 against 1 over here. Just make the numbers work. He spreads out his levy freeman as you should, just to eat some of my missiles. I'm okay to shoot them a little bit. I don't really think it's quite worth it in this type of battle. You know, shooting them down all the way. Like, if you're gonna shoot them, you want to shoot them down all the way, right? So that he's just out of fodder units, and then he has to protect with like something else. But they will take damage, but shooting from the front is just kind of bad. It's gonna be hard to shoot them down because he has Javcav. If it was only Levy Freeman, you could just surround them and shoot them easily. But I don't really have the ability to do that when his Javcav can just push me away. But yeah, getting some early kills on them. I start to spread out more now. Over here again, spreading out, trying to shoot this Levy Free in the back. Already down to 110. These guys are down to 108. But he's already given up a lot of space here, as he kind of had. Okay, sorry about that. So basically, like, he can't retreat further because then I'll start shooting his units in the back. So he has to maintain this distance, so I cannot shoot his infantry. But he doesn't really want to do that because I'm already so close that he'll just start taking fire in his units. So that's a classic conundrum when you're out HA'd, is that you retreat into your own lines, but then you can't retreat any further, or you just get shot in the back. Here is my horse ran up forward here. Fortunately for him, I don't actually shoot them. Here I see the same thing on this length though, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let that go to waste, so I'm going to get some free shots here. There's literally no reason to do this, like literally just put your mighty horse back here, run your infantry forward, and then you're fine, but whatever. You know, these 3 volleys, but he does get a slinger volley in return, so not the worst thing in the world. Do I lose men? No, so we kind of just called it. Of course, HP damage lost on the horse archers isn't really relevant unless he actually is able to kill some men. Now I just shift to one side. I want to keep using my skirmish ability here, so I have a horse archer kind of in my line. Something that I'm definitely adopting more and more is just putting your horse archers or Javcav like in your own line so that when things come forward, they get shot. If you're out on the flanks, it's good, but it's easy to counter. Whereas they have to walk forward, so you're gonna get shot if you walk forward. So I just want to avoid like a straight up fight. I want to create like a imbalance in the position essentially, because if I go for a straight fight, his Oathsworn and his Spear Swords are better, his Celtics are better than my Folksmen, all his units are just better, his Mighty Horse are better than my Spear Horse. The advantage I have is with the Horse Archers, creating like a, unbalanced position where if he fights me on this flank, I can just shoot him in the back. So that's what I want to go for. I have more Horse Archers over here, so I decide to attack here. And meanwhile, I'm just skirmishing a little bit and trying to shoot his cav down. I have one horse rusher all the way back here. You know, I'm just trying to set up a good position. I see this rush coming in. I don't want to let my axe warriors get charged for free, ideally, so I'm just going to charge with my spear horse. I try to time this up like really perfect where I'll get some javelins out here, and I actually do that. Like, look at that. I throw javelins, and I still block his charge mostly. Will mean that my axe warriors will take a hit from his mighty horse, but he already lost 5 men, and I get a charge into his Celtic warriors, although he did get a charge into my axe warriors. But Celtics are more susceptible to charge, and my my mighty horse or my spear horse are heavy, and his are medium. So this is a really that was like pristine. Like, that's exactly what you want to do. My guy's got a few javelins off. I block his charge with my cav mostly. He does hit my unit a little bit with the rest of his mighty horse, but I also hit his infantry unit. So that was like 100% exactly what I wanted to happen. Here, I'm just gonna block his uh, his fierce swords with my spear. They're just complete fodder. I don't even care about this unit. Like, I'm barely gonna micro it the whole game. But him trying to throw javelins here into my spear, which it looks like he already did. Yeah, he did. Means that I'm going to get a free cav charge into his Oathsworn with the Noble Sword following up, and that will mean my Noble Sword will win. A YOLO charge here is absolutely enough to make sure that I win. We'll take a big Javelin volley there, but worth it every day of the week. Then on this flank, I'm going to counter charge with my Falksman into this Celtic Warrior, because I think a Falksman charge where they're not taking any Javelins, they're also getting into cav, is a really, really valuable charge. I could have charged it into this Levy Freeman, just killed it, but I wanted to get them into this where they're going to get a lot more value on the charge, and I just pull out my Axe Warrior and say, okay, Axe Warriors, you guys just deal with this Levy Freeman, that shouldn't be a problem. So my Horse Archers here, denying the space, not letting him do anything, forcing him to respect this, and if he tries to skirmish with me, I'll just start, either shooting these guys. If they run away, I'll shoot him in the back. And my Horse Archers here are just ready to also shoot, for example, as cav. Probably should be doing that right now, actually. And you can also see right now, Oathsworn and Oathsworn here, where I only has one Noble Sword here. Noble Sword and my Noble Sword can commit on this flank. So I'm overloading my left flank. He's not really reacting to that yet. I also have more cav, more skirmish cav, etc. So that's always good to overload his side. My HA are mostly over here, and his Oathsworn, of course, are his slowest units, so it's going to take them a long time to get into the fight. If he tries to fight me here, I'm just going to run away. So, and I also have more cavs, so it's going to be hard for him to catch me. So exactly what I said happens here. I run my Spear Horse away now. My Falksmen get a charge. Already up to 20 kills. Of course, they're going to also lose a lot of men very quickly. This is just Falksman life. But, I'm just going to be winning this fight. Noble Swords are also just committing because why not? He has no other infantry in this area, no other cab in this area. This Oathsworn's tied down by my Spear Horse charge. They did lose 20 men for that. And this Spear Horse is also weak, although I'm killing more of his Mighty Horse here. So I had that one extra cav, so I'm using it, putting it to good use. Like, this is absolutely 100% worth it to make sure I win this fight of the elite infantry. This Falksman kind of gets baited in by his Levy Free. Probably shouldn't have even been there in the first place. Now his general's committing here, so I'll lose this Falksman with a charge to get 2 javelins on his general, plus these arrows or whatever. That's probably fine, but they did get baited. Here he's trying to chase down my bow horse, but now he's taking a lot of fire. Not ideal, I suppose. Falksman, or he runs his Celtic Warrior away actually, so my Falksmen are just going to kill his cav, but that means that they're going to not take that much damage, which is nice. They're down to 100 men, more or less, but to kill off a cav unit, we'll take that. His Celtic will get out though. My Noble Sword is not really doing a whole lot here because this fight's pretty much over, but we'll out again if they need to. So here again, I don't let him catch my bow horse. Now I've got these guys surrounded, like I could just bring these bow horse here, bring these guys back in, and these guys are just dead due to fire from all sides. They could maybe run out this way, but they're going to take a lot of fire if they do that. He does pop the stupid ability, but it's legal, so respect. So they're not going to break. He's getting some nice flank shots into this Noble Horse, but it's just a slinger. Not going to do too much. Over here, it kind of missed. Everything is going down over here, but I can explain what happened. He went after my Falksman. I countercharged my general. He charges my Axe Warrior with his Fierce Sword and kind of owns it, to be honest. Guy was trying to run away, I guess. I don't really know. He has more support over here, so it's not really a fight I wanted to take, but when his general was coming at me, I was like, okay, I'll take a free charge on his Celtic Warrior, lose a few men, maybe to these javelins or some of his Celtic javelins, also do some damage to his Noble Horse, and then I'll charge my Noble Sword in here, and my Noble Sword will create a block. It's going to lock down this entire fight, and force him to go all the way around if he wants to, where I can bring him my Falksmen or my Axe Warriors, So it's going to create a lock on this fight, because again, I'm winning this side pretty easily. This is a dominant victory. All I need to do is slow down this. Ideally, I wouldn't engage, but he kind of forced my hand. Maybe, mostly because I got baited with that Falksman. I should have just been running away. I tried to chase Levy Freeman a bit stupidly, but okay, it happens. Another problem is he killed my spear, big surprise, with his spear swords. So now his spear swords are running up the center here, and they could create a problem for me. I don't have any infantry currently in reserve. I should have an axe warrior or a falksman or something, but they're all engaged over here. I'll have a lot of extra units here, but they're not that close. So he could recharge my noble sword. That would be his best move. He's also using his Javcav to shoot me in the right side here, which is unshielded side. So this is very nice use of Javcav. I could be doing that with my horse archers, but there's, it's a little bit worse for me. I can't really position my HA right here to shoot this as effectively with all these units nearby and his Javcav. So, nice play from ulda there. Gonna get a nice charge here with my noble swords. Don't really get too many javelins into the blob, but whatever. Here my Foxmen are gonna countercharge his fierce swords and probably do a lot of damage. I'm gonna get 2 Foxmen out of this fight, or a Foxman and an Axe Warrior actually. But my Axe Warrior has lost a lot of men to his swords. They're already up to 40 kills, pretty impressive. His Oathsworn doesn't get a charge here though, so my Noble Swords are getting in really good fights. Here he does do the right thing, recharges my Noble Sword. All of a sudden my Noble Sword is gonna be in bad shape, but he's already down to 89. That was the power of that YOLO charge. His unit is already down to 88 men. I have 110, so I was dominant in that fight, but the recharge of the Fierce Swords will win that fight for him if I don't do anything about it. I think I'm just going to try to recharge him there. I might have misclicked on the Oath Sword instead of the Fierce Sword here. I also pull out my Noble Sword because I'm expecting that. Look, I have 117 Falksmen, 83 Falksmen, Axe Warrior nearby. I'm going to win this fight. Let me get my Noble Sword over here and help out. Probably not the right play, to be honest. I say just shoot this unit, charge it, win this fight, and then flank the Oath Sword itself with the rest of your units. Pulling out the Noble Sword means this fight's going to take a lot longer because Celtic Warrior is 107 and these Falksmen are not going to get charged. So this fight's not really that good for me. I'll have to pull out the Falksmen, charge in the Axe Warrior, flank. Or if I just leave the Noble Sword in here, kill this Celtic, and then just like deal with this, like pull out a Falksman or something to charge here, win this fight, and flank this Oath Sword, my Noble Sword can hold on here with Headhunt. It'll be fine. But I think I make the wrong decision here. Over here, he has a free Oath Sword that's about to run at me. I have 2 Noble Swords here, he has 2 Oath Sword over here. That's just the nature of the unbalanced, part of the fight. So he's gonna start winning this fight. I just have to like either run away or hold on as long as possible, which I guess will happen. Here, get some nice javelins on my bow horse. I get some nice shots on his Javcav. Just normal stuff. Here I'm trying to flank, but again I flank with the wrong unit. I flank with the Axe Warrior instead of the Falks, which means that my Falksmen are fighting his Celtic Warrior without a charge, so they're not gonna do shit. Here I do get a nice recharge on the Sphere Swords. My other Noble Swords gonna come in here and recharge his Sphere Swords, but that just means like this whole fight's kind of messy. I'm not getting a flank in time. I thought I'd already be around the flank, but I wasn't. Here I see his general. I charge his Celtic Warrior for some reason. I guess he's gonna die. But now my Falksman can countercharge his general here, which is really nice for me. He decided, instead of charging my Falksman, which he probably should have done, he charged my Cav, but he's not going to get a good charge on my Cav because my Cav is really spread out here, and my Falksman really a free charge into his general and really do a lot of damage. All my bow horse are right here, and they can also countercharge, or not countercharge, but shoot his general. My Cav is finally wrapping around. He has this really healthy Cav unit. All my Cav is like really depleted from earlier engagements. This Cav was my healthiest one, but it's about to die to his general and all this support. But for a good cause, weakening his general. My general's at 48, so not the most healthy. And my bow horse are under a duress here, but these guys are about to die. Once these guys die, my bow horse are going to really dominate the battlefield. Have this guy behind that can, start shooting some in the back. So he kind of overcommits his Javcav here because he's allowing them to get shot from all sides, and he's not going to catch them. I have enough Cav to deny that. So this is bad for him. I try to shoot his general here with some of my bow horse, just trying to get those free shots. My Falksman get a really terrible charge. Don't know why, to be fair. But his general is going to start to drop to the Falksman and to my Cav, and to the arrows. So he's getting hard focus here. But look at these Celtic warriors. They're just still holding on. They don't give a fuck. And now he brings his really healthy Cav over here, and he's actually going to kill this Cav. If I had Falksman support here, great. But my Falksmen are engaged. They're not ready to support. The Axe Warriors didn't get a good charge. The Celtics are slowly dying. But I don't think my Cav is actually going to last long enough here to actually make sure I get infantry support into this fight. So that's really bad for me. His Oathsworn are obviously going to start to dominate this fight. He actually brings his Oathsworn instead of like coming over here where he's winning, probably. Yeah, big Celtic advantage, big Fierce Sword advantage. I'm winning the Noble Swords here, but he has just too many other infantry units to make this sustainable. Plus my back is exposed to his slingers if he chooses. So he brings his Oathsworn over here to fight two of my Noble Swords. If he gets a free charge into these guys, it's going to be absolutely devastating. So it's not a terrible idea, but it does mean that he has had to run a long way. He is tired. These guys are active. Noble Sword did use Headhunt here. I haven't been able to get my general back over there because of this Javcav stuff happening. So I can't actually refresh this unit, but these guys are in a bad spot anyway. His units are in general just more tired than me, so this, all his running around is not helping him at all. Tired versus active over here as well, because I was just standing still around all the way around. That probably helped out. And his general now down to 54. Let's see how that continues. So my arrow's coming in, his Javcav dead. These guys should also be shooting his general or shooting this cav unit or something. So I finally break off 2 units, but again, I choose the wrong unit. I bring the Axe Warriors over here. Maybe because they have these javelins, so maybe not a terrible idea, but they need to kill this Celtic Warrior. The Falksmen are not going to kill this Celtic Warrior alone. And that just means that, yes, I'll kill this unit, but the Falksmen killing the cav and the Axe Warriors killing the Celtics, there's a much better continuation there. Finally, my general is like free of this threat of Javcav that could just like kill my fucking general with javelins. My horse archers are actually obliterating his general right now. Falksmen are doing a good job as well, but they're not really getting into the fight because they got a weird charge. They're only now getting into the fight. So they should start to rack up the kills. He can't run away yet because he doesn't have an infantry unit here. So he has to wait for like a free or something, or his Oathsworn, to allow his general to escape for free. This fight's going okay for him, but 54 against 51, and then the 108 free Noble Swords are winning this fight, but again, full Oathsworn. He decides to recharge my Noble Sword over here, so, you know, it's just so much running around when he could have just probably done this earlier, I guess. But it's definitely a very close battle still, so let's see. Yep, my Spear Horse just did not survive long enough. I tried to pull them out, probably should have just stayed in, but these guys are slowly dying to my Axe Warriors. He just runs away. As soon as I run away, he runs away, so he's gonna get out, but that unit is pretty destroyed now. And only now do my Axe Warriors commit on his Celtics. This Falksman's dead. This Falksman's really weak, can't even kill his Levy Free most likely. His general's just getting shot from all sides though, and this is huge. So his general's down to 25 men. My general's very healthy out here. He pulls out the Oathsworn that was fighting from this side, so he's got this rear charge. So now I just need to focus down his general and focus down this Oathsworn, and I should be okay. Again, my general is worth an Oathsworn here. Like, it can take out an Oathsworn in the late game easily. So, you know, that's a huge thing as well, whereas his general is now too weak to do very much. My Fox can actually get a nice charge on his Levy Freeman, so they might, and there's a root charge, they actually might kill them, which is funny. Axe Warriors killed that Celtic, and now it's just, or his Celtic maybe run away, and now they're just chasing the general. And he actually caught my bow horse that was behind. Kind of dumb for me. I tried to run it to my friends, so I could just shoot his cav down. His general is trying to just escape to safety here, and will do so, but it's very weak. So now, like, if this unit was able to get in from the back, he would have nowhere to run, but he did cover me well with his Javcav, so that was well played from him. But he's down to fucking 15 men on the general. I don't think his general actually died yet, unfortunately. And now I decided to go for this Oathsworn. Its back is just exposed to my dudes. I can pop Headhunt to make this unit last for longer. But I charge my cav in here. This is a mistake because it's just going to make my arrows less effective. And I also don't have too much ammo left at this point. But I do route this Levy Freeman. My other horse archers are finally going to kill his horse archer here, or his Javcav here, although he almost catches me. But I have this small cav unit that can come and save the day. Also has another small cav unit here, so small cav unit battles now. He gets into my bow horse here, and now I can't shoot his Oathsworn. I can charge it with my general. I think I do that. My other cav here is gonna go kill off this cav unit. Yeah, go for this charge with the Oathsworn, or on the Oathsworn with my cav gen. Nice charge here. I pop battle rhythm as well. Nice recharge on these very tired Oathsworn. So that was huge. He throws a javelin volley in here, though. It does do a lot of damage. Hits all these units over there. I'm down to 42 men on my general, but it should be okay. This 93-man Noble Sword is going to win this blob over here. His general is very weak, can't do much about anything. And then this unit It's going into headhunt, so it's about to dive. 73 men, very tired Oathsworn, and a 58 men, very tired Oathsworn should be insufficient against my noble sword and my gen. But he also has these slingers. He also has some other infantry over here, Celtic and Fierce Sword. 100 men between them, a little more than 120 men between them actually. It's, you know, it's decent. I'm not gonna have much support for my one noble sword here because these folksmen are dead. These axe warriors, they're 59 men. They might live. They're wavering because they're attacked in the rear, which is kind of fake. And these folksmen are pretty useless. He also has his slingers. I don't have a lot of cav, but I do have my bow horse, which can kill slingers. Barely. So now I'm just gonna go for the general getting these cycle charges in. He's gonna start to shoot with his slingers. Probably should focus my general here. Here I decided to just shoot his general. He's shooting my bow horse, which is probably a mistake. I mean, he's gonna get a lot of kills there, but I'm gonna kill his general. I see that his general's chasing my bow horse around. No point in doing that. I just charge the slinger. Get this charge down the line. Crucial thing here, by the way. Instead of charging from the front like that, they would only hit like a small blob. But you want to get like right here and then charge. They kill everything down the line. Very, very, very much better charge. If you have such a small unit that's only going to kill a few men, it'll take them forever to kill this long line. But if you charge down the line, they'll kill half the line in a single charge. So that's just like an efficiency thing, and that really matters here because I don't have a lot of cav left. He has these slingers that can start shooting my general and stuff, so it's not really ideal. And now you can see his infantry is like breaking through. My Oathsworn Noble Sword, Noble Sword headhunt is over. I should second win them, but this unit's in the way, and I don't want to take another javelin volley here, so I can't really save them. I'll save second win for this unit or something. Who's my most important infantry unit. He also gets a rear charge from these light freemen that came back from routing. Didn't really realize they were there. And somehow his freaking general is like still alive here. And this was annoying for me because he's 10 men and should probably be dead, but isn't. But he's engaged. My other bow horse here is just trying to get some shots in. Still hasn't done anything. I want to charge his Oathsworn here. Exhausted versus tired. This would be a really nice fight for me, but he is rear shooting me with slingers. I'm rear shooting him with arrows. Again, that favors me. Arrows do more damage than slings. And the slingers are soon to be out of the fight. I charge him general just with everything I have. And crucially, I can commit on his slingers once his general dies. Like right now my my Jevka or my bow horse are busy shooting him. And there's no point in committing on his slingers right now because the bow horse will take a lot of damage fighting his slingers. They won't kill them very quickly. But once his general's dead, the morale will be so bad that I can just commit. And they should insta-rout pretty much. And now that happens. General recently died. So now I'm like, okay, I can mass route a lot of very tired, exhausted units because their morale is just gonna be really bad. His slinger morale looked okay, but as soon as they take a charge, they are scared. My bow horse can commit here. My general is still pretty healthy. And again, my general against exhausted units in the end game is gonna be very strong. This noble sword actually took a beating. I'm like, oh shit, like am I actually gonna lose because of all these like infantry still being alive? Like that'd be crazy. I'm almost out of ammo at this point. I don't think I have almost any ammo. My noble sword died a lot faster than I thought it would. It is fresh though against exhausted units mostly. So I'm like, okay, I'll give a charge here with my general. If my general dies here, I actually risk losing the game. But I figured he's probably not gonna die. All this stuff is exhausted, so this charge is ridiculously devastating. The morale effect especially is good here. Blast bow horse ammo going into that big Oathsworn unit. Slingers just insert out to my Kev. And okay, I think it ends up being alright. This axe warrior as well comes back from routing. Very close game, but I figured I had the edge most of it. Really good play from the bow horse, and then just creating that overload on the left flank. I didn't really finish it off. I started it really well, didn't really deal with that Celtic warrior quite so well, but still, it was enough to get the job done, and my general did really well, whereas the general took that weird charge into my Cav that let him get shot by like all my units and charged by the Falksman, which was probably not ideal. But the bow horse just like really outplayed the scout riders. It like trapped his two scout riders on my left in the middle of the battle, which really freed up my bow horse. Whereas if his scout riders just existed and prevented me from going wherever I wanted, it would be a lot harder for me to get good shots with the bow horse. His cav did fine. My cav did fine. I got that one YOLO charge, which was big. But my general really surviving the late game was good. All of my noble swords did fine. This guy got fought by two Oathsworn, so he didn't do great. But you can see 74-50 on his Oathsworn, not great. Fierce Swords, though, on the other hand, did really well. My Axe Warriors, Axe Warriors are such a bad unit against Nervii because none of their units have all that much armor. But you have to take them because you don't have any other staying power because Falksmen don't stay. Good kills on the Falksmen though. Good kills on his Celtic Warriors. Killing my Falksmen probably. But the Falksman got some kills on his cab and stuff. Slingers did good for him. Levy Freeman did shit. Spear got no kills. Lol. Levy Freeman were more useful, of course, because they have javelins. But yeah, I think it was mainly the Bohords, the General, and the O Sword, or the Noble Swords doing better than his O Sword that won this out. And his fatigue, because I was, fighting from like an inside lines. He was trying to surround me on my right. I was just running away inside my own line, so I ran a lot less than he did, so I was a lot fresher in the end game. So 2-0, best of 5, so I had to win one more. He has to win 3 straight. Probably pretty unlikely, but you never know. You never know. Let me find this. Okay. So then he picked Carthage Massilia. I like going Carthage, but Carthage is annoying in this matchup, so I went Massilia. I think there's benefits to both. I haven't posted this, but I will post the semifinals of the season, which was me versus Ragnar. I lost this matchup as Carthage. Very close game, but I lost it, so I was like, actually, I really liked a few things that Ragnar did in that matchup, so I was like, I'm just going to steal them and play as Massilia, because I think Massilia is slightly, ever so slightly better. Let's look at the armies. I'm not going to fucking pause it this time, because I've been talking for like a fucking hour. This is terrible. 4 Tarentines, 4 Hippeus Lancers. Actually, yeah, 4. Only 2 Thorax Swords, because Thorax Swords fucking suck. I have 2 Axe Warriors, 4 Axe Warriors, 4 Celtic Warriors, 2 Levy Freemen, and I said 4 Tarentines. That's it. Carthage has 2 Numidian Nobles. Absolutely the right decision, by the way. Against Massilia, you must take these units, otherwise the Tarentines are just too strong. It really sucks because Numidian Nobles are still going to get outplayed by the Tarentines if you play this right, and I'll talk about this later. But if you just let the Tarentines run around, it's just impossible to play the game. So you have to take Numidian Nobles, and Numidian Nobles are really hard to use right in this matchup, but there just is no other option. It's not like you have to take a lot of insane, expensive infantry or anything, so it's okay. So to take them as your like expensive units, but it's annoying that you have to. But Numidian Cav, the regular ones, are so bad against Tarentines because the armor diff and the mass diff that it's essential to take these units. The rest of his army is 4 Carthaginian Cav probably. Yep, Noble Cav General, all normal stuff. Iberian swords, 2 Iberians, 4 yeah, 2 Iberian swords in the back. Probably 4 Gallic warriors in total. Maybe 3 Gallic warriors, 3 Samnites, 3 Scutarii, and that's all. So yeah, only 2 Gallic warriors, or 3 Gallic warriors, yeah. 3 Gallic warriors, 2 Iberians, 3 Scutarii, 3 Samnites, okay. No Noble Fighter. Noble Fighter is actually really interesting. Actually, it's 2 Samnites and a Libyan infantry, I guess he didn't have money. I would try to make money, but I guess he doesn't have the option to, actually. Yeah, Noble Fighter is interesting because Massilia is probably not bringing missiles to kill them. But with the Cav and and the fact that you need to bring the 2 nobles to counter the Tarentines means that it's really hard to play with a noble fighter. It's just too much money because you also have to bring the noble Cav gen because the other generals suck. Elephants could be good, maybe. I don't know, but probably not. It's the Tarentines. So my plan going into this is just like use the Cav to good effect, and talking about how to counter the Numidian nobles. All you need to do is respect the fact that like the money here is equal, but his unit, there's like 2 of his units, so they can't affect as much of the battle as your 4. And you don't want to run out of ammo. If you do like a stupid run away and shoot and everyone misses all their ammo, and suddenly none of your Jav Cav has ammo on either side, the Numidian nobles become infinitely more valuable because they can kill more in melee than your Tarentines Cav. Even though Tarentines are decent at killing in melee, Numidian nobles are just like, obviously their stats are just much better. So you want to just preserve your ammo and just deter the Numidians from doing anything. Just say, yeah, if you go somewhere, I'm just gonna have ammo, so watch out, you can never do anything. And it just makes that they're both useless. All the units are useless, but then you have 4 to 2, so you can surround a little bit more, you can pressure them, and you just wait, and you wait, and you wait, and eventually the Numidian nobles will have to do something, or you'll get more gaps because you have 4 units and units 2, and once the Numidian nobles are forced into action, you just shoot them with your javelins, they'll get something done, but they'll get shot by your javelins, and you'll win the game. So that's how you counter the Numidian nobles in this matchup. This is what Ragnar did to me, and I'm sure when I post the semi-final video, you'll see it to really good effect. Like, he played that perfectly, so I was like, okay, I just have to do that. That's clearly, like, the right strat for this. My Libby Freeman here are pretty useless, so they're just gonna soak up whatever. Maybe get some javelins on his units. Oh, here he charges Scutaria at me, so I'm like, oh, I'll just throw a javelin at Scutaria. That's like really good value. 8 Scutaria kills here, and I just run away because my guys are faster. Also bait out a javelin volley. I take a fuck ton of javelins from his Iberian swords, but I baited out a javelin volley with Scutaria. Also killed 8 Scutaria. Like, that's pretty good value for my Libby Freeman. I preserve 1 javelin volley for his cap or something. I don't know. Here, I don't want to take a javelin volley on my Hippeus. Gallic warriors lose to axe warriors, so I can just charge this straight up. But I do see his cav is coming forward, right? So I don't want to get my Celtics charged by his cav. So I do a little bait and switch here. He commits on my axe warrior, so he throws his javelin now volley. Once he throws that javelin volley, I know it's safe for me to commit because he doesn't have another javelin volley. So I recharge this Hippeus, and this is like pure guesswork. Like, anything could have happened here. Like, I ran away, he could have tried to javelin my pace, it might have worked. He could have just, like, kept running forward and charged my Celtic while I was trying to run away. Maybe I would get back in time, I don't know. But fortunately, this worked out in, like, the right way, where he javelined my Axe Warrior, and I was able to get back in time to charge his Carthaginian Cav before he hits me here. So this was, like, kind of optimal, I guess, for me, but it wasn't really a skill. It was more just, like, we both made certain decisions, and we're both gonna have to accept the consequences. I do think that it's better for me though, right? Because my charge is gonna be more devastating here. Gallic warriors lose to axe warriors, free Celtic warrior in reserve. All this says that I'm gonna win this flank pretty easily. He tries to run away, and actually does run away. So in the end, I should have said this 1 second later, and I would have been like, this is even more crazy. So now he runs away with his Carthaginian Cav, baits my charge and gets the Iberian jabs. I do charge half of his Celtic or Gallic warrior though. I have this infantry unit in reserve, so now my plan is just like tie this Scutaria down, run at this Celtic or Iberian sword with my Celtic, and just fight here. Take this 1v1. I have a Thorax sword in reserve as well, so it's kind of okay. I'm a bit more overloaded here than I would want to be. I want to rotate more over here. But we'll see. So then I'm like, okay, he ran away too far. I'm not in time to like catch this unit. It's not happening. So I guess I'll just fucking commit and charge the fuck out of his Iberian sword. It only used 1 javelin volley so far, so if I kill a lot of the men now, it's losing a lot of its value. And I have Thorax sword, Celtic warrior, and soon an axe warrior to all commit into this gap. So he can't really countercharge me. I also have a Celtic warrior back here and the Tarentines. He does have his immediate cav. So if he makes a fight here, I can have a lot of support. So it's probably decent for me. But I did lose a lot of men on this Advanced Lancer. Actually, I only lost 1 man, JK. And I should lose a lot more men because of HP damage here. I still get a charge into his Carthaginian Cav. My Pace Lancer is going to start to drop pretty fast. My Celtics get into his Iberian sword, so that's quite decent. And now I start to rotate. He gets a counter charge on my Pace Lancer, but my Pace Lancer run away. And my Pace Lancer recharges Gallic Warriors. So this was just like a fucking nightmare micro situation where it's kind of insane. Like, it all started with that decision to charge into my Axe Warrior, then my Pace Lancer gets baited by his Carthaginian Cav, but charges his Gallic, and then it charges the Iberian, and then he countercharges me, and then I countercharge him, and then I countercharge in the rear of his Gallic warriors and run away. All said and done, and he countercharged me with his general too. And I charged his Iberian sword with my Gallic warriors, or my Celtic warriors. So much happened there, holy shit, like. But overall, like, the Pace Lancer already has 80 kills on infantry and a little bit on Cav. I have a Celtic warrior and a Thorax sword in this fight, and I'm gonna win this flank decisively. So a lot of sacrifice that could have happened and will happen for this Pace Lancer to lose a lot of men here. Overall, it's a pretty good result for me, I'm not gonna lie. Here I bait out another javelin volley of these Samnites with my Levy Freeman, so Levy Freeman just being lol fodder. Which also means, look at where these guys are positioned. I purposely engage right here, move this Celtic warrior, they throw a few javelins. I would have just liked to throw a full javelin volley, but I saw these units coming, I saw this charge potentially coming, I was like, okay, I don't want to allow that, because Celtic warriors will get smashed by a charge. Okay, there's so much going on, holy fuck. So, I try to make this fight as good as possible. I bait the charge with the Levy Freeman, countercharge with the Thorax swords. Samnites are way better than Thorax swords, but maybe I can still win this because of that, I don't know. I have to run away with my Celtic warriors, even though I would have liked a javelin volley here because he has way more presence here. Again, I'm rotating to the left, right? I want to fight over here. So I'm just gonna bait here. His Numidians still not doing anything. My Tarentine is getting some shots on his Cav. Might as well use them javelins for that. That seems like a fair use. The Pace Lancer that did all that stuff before at 100 kills already sees this random Scutaria versus Axe Warrior engagement that happened over here, and so I'm like, okay, this is also, by the way, having fights at multiple levels is always good for Cav faction because you'll just get more recharges, right? Like this fight's over here, and here, there's no longer a straight line. I can't, you can't defend this except by countercharging with worse Cav, so I get a free recharge here. Over here, I kind of get baited again by his Carthaginian Cav, but I'm like, whatever, I'm already committed. If I just turn around now, I'm just gonna get javelin volleyed, so I have to just commit. That's also a thing. If you're ever gonna take a javelin volley, you may as well just keep charging into them, because at least you'll do some damage back, right? You don't want to just take damage and nothing happen. He even gives me a free charge on his Carthaginian Cav. Of course, like, this fight's terrible for me because of all the support he has, but it's still better than nothing. There's so much going on. OMG, this is so fucking crazy. Okay, so Carthaginian Cav, 16 men, dying. This fight, he got a Libyan infantry in on my thorax swords. His general's still engaged though, so he's losing a lot more men than he should, but his Libyan infantry should win this fight with the new minions and support and his general and support. I recharge him, he countercharges me, he has Scutarii all over the fucking place here, so he's gonna probably be much better here. This fight's bad for me, but at least it wasn't completely useless. These guys are gonna charge in here and let my cav retreat. He countercharges my cav, I try to run away. Over here, I have a Sam Knight that I don't really want to fight. He has like an Iberian sword and a Gallic warrior, so these guys not good. Sam Knight good. So what my plan is to just bait the Sam Knight and javelin a lot of times, and then run and fight these guys instead, and tie it down with some like useless units or something. Because I don't want to fight the Sam Knight. I want to kill these guys and then surround the Sam Knight. That's the ideal situation. Kill the weak units, let the strong unit like chase some shit or something, and then surround it and kill it for free. This Lancer gets a charge here in the Scutarii, but his Carthaginian Cav are going to really hurt this Lancer. This Lancer is already low on HP, so it can't really do very much here. This Suebi Lancer also took a lot of damage, also blocks my general from getting a good charge. Kinda got a good charge, but not really. But these Axe Warriors come in here and block his Gallic Warriors, but his Carthaginian Cav is actually kind of breaking through my lines. Ideally, the Levy Freeman would be more over here to help out. So I bait the charge of the Samnites with my Axe Warriors, charging the Celtic Warriors, and I can use the Celtic Warriors, or the Axe Warriors, sorry, to kill his Gallic Warriors. Because again, Axe Warriors are better against Gallic Warriors. They would lose against the Sam Knight. My Tarentines are getting some free shots in here. His Dominion Cav, he's like kind of forgotten about it, so I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just ignore them. Kill this Carthaginian Cav over here. He has really depleted my pace, but I'll just get another charge, I guess. I have the support of an Axe Warrior here. I can actually draw this fight. Levy Freeman coming as well. Big ass blob in the center. He should win here because he has Scutarii. But I did a lot of damage at least. I don't know. Over here, he's still decent. Here, maybe I was thinking about charging my Tarentines in here, but I end up not doing that. Just charging my Axe Warriors. They might lose this fight because of the number difference here, 100 versus 120, but it should be close. Over here, my Thorax Sword's fighting his Sam Knight. Of course, this is not ideal, but at least I tried to make this fight as good as possible, like getting those javelins and baiting the charge and all that. Go back in the video, just rewind, and you can listen to it again. So now he feels a bit of desperation, right? He's kind of losing, he's lost this flank already, like I have Celtic Warriors all over him, his Cav is dying, I still have really healthy Lancers. So he's like, oh, what are my best units? Oh, it's my, it's my new minions, so I have to get them into play. So now my Tarentine's sole purpose should be to shoot new minions for the rest of the game, as soon as they try to come after them. So I've turned fire at will on, and yep, they're going to start shooting the minions. The minions will shoot me back, but that's perfectly fine. As long as we're both hitting our volleys instead of both missing, it favors the Tarentines, especially 2-1. His Cav is actually pretty healthy though. Cav make a big difference here, gets a nice recharge on these Axe Warriors. This fight is going okay for me because of Levy Freeman. This Capaeus Lancer is pretty dead, but the other three are at 52, 44, and 57, so quite healthy. His general at 43, not as healthy as he would want. He stayed in here a bit too long. Again, I mean, this is just like, do not pass. I can also just recharge this Gallic Warrior. I'm gonna just charge it with these Axe Warriors instead, because it's fine. And I see, like, okay, he's clearly just mismigrated this unit. He's using his other new minion, so clearly he should be using this new minion as well. So I'm just gonna go for this gap and just start recharging all his units in this area. Bit risky, potentially, but it will help me get the upper hand in the infantry. I will lose some Tarentines, lose some of the ability to counter this minion, not necessarily ideal. But I want some counterplay on this flank where both of his Samnites are, and his infantry is very strong and just winning the fight. Like, give it a little bit of time, and these Samnites are going to kill everything over here. And he has an Iberian sword killing my Levy free, I guess, but whatever. On this link, it's a lot better for me, but again, even in the center here, he is winning. Scutarii, 109 men. They're going to clean this up with these other Scutarii. Are they both 109? No, 41 over here. And this third Scutarii even is over here at 88, so he's dominating the center, he's dominating the left. I'm winning the right, and I have all my cav. And of course, the cav are going to be super valuable in the late game. But here, you know, I'm going to start to use my cav where he doesn't have enemy cav. Where there's no Carthaginian cav, I can just get free charges. Probably could go for that. Here come the Tarentines, and that actually made him recognize, oh, I do have a cav unit. But I have enough infantry here where I can just like get these charges in, do that impact damage, and then use my infantry to escape the Numidians. We'll take some damage, of course, on the Tarentines, but it's a sacrifice that has to be made. He keeps cycle charging my thorax swords here, making this fight very dominant for his Libyan infantry. Over here, it's just like a fucking mosh pit where his Carthaginian cav should go down. It was his healthiest unit of cav, so that's quite nice to get it out of the way. Bad charge by my pace here, really bad charge. That should be better. And look at this, like his Numidian tried to enter the fight and it's now at 20 men and pretty much dead. So great, I countered your Numidian cav with my Tarentine successfully, and I recognize this charge coming, so I'll get the root charge. He tries to run away. Kinda does so, but at this point his unit is so dead. It only has 50 kills.
Understood.
Not worth it. He gets a nice recharge here, to be fair, which is gonna help, definitely. Just impact damage and ruin the morale. 60 Samnites against 75 Thorax. Those Tarentine recharges really did a number on him. He doesn't want to engage here, where he can just get shot. This Celtic warrior will easily kill an Iberian sword that got charged by my Tarentines. Tarentines getting recharges here. Of course, Celtic's going to lose pretty easily to his Samnites, but his Samnites are down to 67 men, considering, again, that they were only fighting Celtics and Axe Warriors. That bait and switch really helped. The javelins from the Tarentines really helped, and the rear charge now going to help them more. So these Samnites that had such a good fight, in theory, on paper, it didn't end up being that nice because of how I played it over there. Here I go for some charges on his Libyan infantry. Really shit charge though, which is really bad for me. And now he's going to try to catch my general. Fortunately, the charge was so bad that most of my generals like out of this fight. Gonna use this small ass base lancer to charge his general and make sure these guys can escape more freely than otherwise they would have. Finally, he has some play for his Numidians though. Numidians getting into this fight where my Tarentines can't harass him. This is going to be excellent for him. Pretty healthy base lancer here, so I'm going to go after his general because I'm winning this fight here. But my general gets another bad charge. This is stupid. So they don't even get a charge. They just like kind of walk in because they're not going to do any damage. His general escapes, but his general's down to 30 men. Here again, some more kind of okay base charges, some okay Numidian charges as well. Now the Numidians are really getting into this fight. I'm trying to just shoot, but these guys are getting pressured out by these Samnites, so they can't. These guys are a little bit far away. And it's just kind of a mosh pit at the moment, and his infantry is starting to win. Of course, his infantry is always going to win, but my cav is still healthy enough potentially to win, but I will need to, like, kill some isolated stuff before he can consolidate. If he can get everything consolidated, has this cav, has the Numidians, it could go bad for me. So I need to either kill his cav and have some infantry survive, or kill his isolated stuff and have my cav survive against his infantry in the late game. His general takes a bad charge here. He does have better support in the area, but it's just already engaged, so I'm going to get a nice charge here with my general. Finally hit a good charge. Not even a great charge, but it's good enough. His general is now going to be in a really bad spot, but his noble Numidians say, wait, we can still do something. He has a random Carthaginian cav that comes in from the back. His noble Numidians come from the front, and all of a sudden I'm like, am I actually going to lose this fight, even though I charged him so freely here with my base lancers? Because I had to countercharge his Carthaginian cav here with my base lancers, so they're not really fighting his general anymore. And all of a sudden, this could actually be really dicey, because if this fight takes too long, all of his infantry is going to come in here and win the game. So I have to be careful about that. But now my Tarentines, again, that 4 versus 2 numbers, playing into big effect. He only has that 1 Numidian, but I have Tarentines all over the battlefield. They can recharge anywhere they want. Just, you know, come in here, they're coming over here, recharging here. So they're, you know, the numbers game coming into effect there for sure. Getting those nice charges into depleted Scutarii. And yeah, Scutarii are decent, but so depleted they're just going to take too many losses here to the mass of Tarentines. Here, again, just he has Samnites, so I'm going to pull out my Celtic Warriors, Axe Warriors, try to get that cycle charge going, try to get that root charge action going on his Samnites. Not the best charge here, comes through my own Thorax Sword, it's a bit too much, but it'll also hit this other Samnite that's coming back into the fight. Not healthy, 31, 27, so I have enough numbers here to actually win this fight. Over here, his Scutarii are starting to die. I just say, like, I don't really care what happens over here. I'm just gonna run my general out of here. I need him to survive. His general's dead. Actually, I don't know if he's actually dead. Yeah, he is dead. So I'm like, all I need here is for my general to survive, regroup over here, and then all his units, you know, with my Tarentine numbers, I should be able to clean this up pretty freely.
Forward!
His Scutaria here, 70 men, living infantry, 70 men as well, so those are pretty big units. I'm just going to keep going for charges with the Tarentines, do as much damage as I can. My general, I was thinking about charging. I want to hit his Numidian maybe on the way out. All these cav units are too weak to actually be a threat to me. So I'm going to hit the Numidian and then just bail, pretty much. He tries to run his Numidian away, which actually just... Or is that, no, that's my Tarentines escaping, actually.
As you command! Yes, Commander!
He tries to like countercharge me here. I'm just gonna run away. I should just sacrifice. Yeah, you can see. I sacrificed my Tarentine here. I want to stop this cav from chasing my general, so I'm just gonna charge in the Tarentine. I do not care if these guys die. It really is irrelevant. He doesn't have enough material here. If this Tarentine and my general survive, and whatever infantry from over here, I have easily enough material to win. 40 men here. 50 men here. So he does kill off that Tarentine, so he's regrouped, I'm regrouped over here, but this always favors me with more cav.
Understood!
And
Orders
let's see, 52 and 63 infantry, so 100 infantry between him, 30, 40, 39, pretty much equal number of infantry. His infantry is slightly better, but I'm gonna check fatigue real quick. Tired, winded, tired, so yeah, it's all good. He also second winded is Libyan, so fatigue-wise, it's fine. I just charge in this Tarentine because I know it's going to block all of his charges. I second win my Thorax Sword, the best unit here. Just countercharge into this blob. I know that he has a free unit of infantry here, but I have a general and a Tarentine. I pull out my Expert. This unit is never going to do anything because nothing can charge my general right now without just dying. So now I just take the charge into his Numidian nobles. They got 163 kills, so when they didn't get countered hard by my Tarentines, they actually did quite well, of course. Rear charges come in from my extra cav units. The morale advantage obviously is here because my general's alive still. And that should pretty much do it. I think my general actually dies right here at the end of the game. And I was like, am I actually going to lose because my general died? It must have been that javelin volley, right? No? Okay, maybe that didn't happen. Maybe I'm tripping. But, you know, of course this cav in the end game is just too strong. And no problems to clean this all up. Yeah, my general did die there, actually. Lol. But nothing's gonna rout here. My general was very tired, not ideal, but he's, you know, not having enough units here to actually win this game, so I'm just gonna charge in and kill him. And a really close battle. I think all three battles were quite close. I managed to come up on top. And 3-0 the series, win the season. GG's to Ulda, very close games. Always fun to play against him because he does a lot of things right, I think, and he'll challenge your micro and he'll challenge your theory. So yeah, close games against him. His cav did good in some places, my cav did good in some places. Not really like the huge cav advantage that you'd want. And look at the kills on his mainline infantry, like insane kills. The Gallus and the Iberians kind of got hard countered. One Numidian got hard countered but still got 60 kills, so you know, it is what it is. But my Tarentines, really nice kills on them, easily outplaying his Numidians. And then the one general unit being alive at the end really mattered. Infantry didn't really do that well, but it was kind of the opposite. My fodder units did really well. Like my Celtics did good, my Axe Warriors did okay. Thorax Sword did fine to be fair, but look at the kills on these infantry, like holy shit. He also deployed a lot less than me to be fair, because he's at 18 units, so that also plays into it. So maybe not, you know, you don't have to get as many kills obviously if he has less men to begin with. But yeah, really close games. Well played to Ulda, and I'm sure he'll be back in the next playoffs or whatever. So you never know, might face him again. But yeah, I'll post the semifinals live play because I recorded all the games except for the last game. Oops. So I'll post that as well. But yeah, I just figured I might as well do this so I can post something and people don't forget about me. Haha. But yeah, GG's, well played. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Peace.